Hello, everybody out there in YouTube world. Hi there. It has been a very long time since I've uploaded anything to this channel, and an even longer time since I've done anything about my audio dramas that a lot of you are subscribed to me for. So, I posted stuff up on social media, I posted stuff up on Twitter, I posted stuff up on Facebook. I've replied to people over the last 3 years, letting people know where exactly I've been. As I explained on there, it was mostly down to the fact that I got a full-time job and it just got in the way. I put it off. I had episode 10, 3 years ago. I had most of it edited, but I just kept procrastinating and putting it off because I was busy with other stuff. And then it got to the point where I just felt that returning would be more difficult, especially when I got a new computer. As weird as that sounds, because the files and the edited version of episode 10 was on 2 computers ago, and I just felt that what I should have done at that point is thought about it and backed up the files and backed up the thing and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't think about that. And unfortunately now here we are 3 years later when I'm like, crap, okay, I want to get back to that, and I really should have thought about backing up those files, but I didn't. So unfortunately, episode 10's files, unless I can recover them from my old computer, which God knows where it is, whether it's in the attic or whatever, unless I can recover the files from that computer, it simply is a case of either I've got to get them back, maybe some of the actors have the original files, stuff like that, but it would be a case of a heavy reconstruction or recreation to finish that at this point. And also, another thing that really happened, which is what made me procrastinate in the first place, is that I just kind of lost my passion, not only for that project, but, for X-Men in general, I think. I'm still, don't get me wrong, I'm still an X-Men fan, but I wasn't as heavily into it as I was. And I feel like just 2 years solid of just doing X-Men. But I stopped, I put it away, I put it down for Christmas as it was at the time, because I was literally editing episode 10 on December 24th of 2015, and I put it down and I never went back to it. And I couldn't tell you why. I just know that, life got in the way, I procrastinated, and it's got to the point now where when I want to get back to it, I wouldn't even know where to start, to be honest with you. But it's not saying that it would never happen. It is saying that the files, I would have to do a lot of work to recover them, and I'd probably have to re-edit the entire episode. So at least I can promise you that we get episode 10 done if I was able to do that. Anything else after that? I had a lot of files for episode 12. Again, it's a similar thing on my old hard drive. Don't believe I backed them up, all that kind of stuff. But, never say never. I never did anything for episode 11, but it's been 3 years. And although, as I move forward with other things, a lot of those actors and I are still in contact, some of them just simply aren't. And some of them, it just would be a case of, I'd have to reach out and say, oh, I know that I lost, the stuff that you did for me 3 years ago, and I didn't put it out 3 years ago when I promised I would. And I don't think from the response I've had from my Facebook stuff that there's any sort of hard feelings towards that at all. But I still would feel awkward going to people and saying, okay, I want to get back on the horse. What can we do to recover these files that I lost because I was careless and I didn't back them up? Do you know what I mean? But the reason I'm recording this video is not just to finally update you after 3 years, which is something that started this whole thing, because I was thinking of coming back. And I posted that thing up on Facebook saying, basically, this is where I've been, this is why I've been gone, and I'm so sorry that you basically, unless you messaged me and asked me directly what the hell was going on, I did not put up an update. For the most part. The last update was mid-2016 when I said that I sent out a new script, and I did. I started back cataloguing it so I could get episodes, 10, 11, and 12 out almost straight away, and that did start to happen. But again, right after that, I got busy again, and just, I think at that point, X-Men Apocalypse came out as well. Maybe that killed me, X-Men like. No, I'm only kidding. But no, it was a similar thing as to what happened. I was working on it for a solid week. put it down, never went back to it. And that's a fault of my own. Nobody else is to blame for that than me. But I put that post out because I was thinking of coming back with something. And I wanted to put the feelers out there to say, you know, I'm coming back, but it won't be with X-Men. I'm glad that Long Halloween was finished. I regret that my own project, my personal project Dawnstar, fell through. I was going to do an original audio drama, and just because things with collaboration, it slowed things down with some of the people that I was collaborating with some of the actors that I brought in from outside the, you know, the X-Men circle. Things just slowed to a crawl, and it just got to the point where I'm not going to continue to lead these guys on for something that's not going to be finished, because I didn't have the time dedicated to it to that point, you know, early 2 years ago. So what am I coming back with? I'm coming back with something I think is definitely in the wheelhouse of X-Men, let's put it that way. It's something different. It's something very different. With X-Men, I was taking stuff from the 60s and 70s and updating them and changing them and adding things that made sense since and all that kind of stuff. Along Halloween, I was doing a straight word-for-word adaptation, which was, you know, fun and all, but it was basically just like as a copyright and then editor, basically. But this time I want to do something different. And these entire 3 years, I've not felt that fire to do something, to really create something, to come back with these audio dramas. And I was, you know, the actors, a few of them, you know, reached out to me and said, you know, what's going on, we'd be happy to come back, all that kind of stuff. And pretty much the rest of them, since I posted the last stuff on Facebook, have also reached out to me and said the same thing, since I've made the post saying that I'm coming back. So, with that said, I'm going to make an adaptation of a show I adored as a kid. And I'm sure a lot of people my age also adored as a kid. But it's a show that when you go back to is, quite frankly, a really, really bad show. For adults, anyway. And most everything that's good about it comes from Japan. So yeah, I'm going to bring in somebody here, or something. This is something that I bought in, you know, one of those things that you do when you get older and you have a lot of money, and you think, you know what, I couldn't get these things as a kid, so I'm going to kind of buy my childhood. Well, I went a bit further than that, because the Legacy Megazord, this one, is extremely expensive on the aftermarket. So I said, well, for the price that the Legacy is going for, in decent condition, I may as well splash out for this baby, which is the Soul of Chochokin. I believe that's how you say it. Soul of Chochokin Megazord, which is the very poseable, very show-accurate, you know, model. It looks very pretty. I've got the Dragon Zord and everything as well. So yeah, I'm coming back with Power Rangers, and it's inspired. It's inspired by the Boom comics, quite frankly. I've been reading them over the past couple of months, and they are amazing. And it's made me think that what it would be like, they have shown me what it would be like if we made Power Rangers as cool as we thought it was when we were 7 and 8 years old. How about if we went back to the original show, to the original characters, and made the show make sense? At least have some verisimilitude, have some verisimilitude in the storytelling, have some logic, have some character depth, have the villains make some more sense, all that kind of stuff. And the Boom comics have been doing that, and they've done a fantastic job. But I want to do something different. I want to do a straight-up reimagining reboot. And that's what the movie last year did. But I kind of feel like it went a bit too far in the other direction. It didn't use enough of the cool Japanese aesthetic. I think it went too far into not having much Ranger in it. It was probably just a budget issue, but it didn't have enough Rangers in it for my taste. I hated the Zords. Which is one of my main drawing things to it as a kid, as you can see by the fact I bought this guy. So I want to bring something back in the similar way to the Boom comics, where I'm doing a straight-up reimagining reboot, but I'm going to make it as cool as we thought it was as a kid. So I'm going to do a kind of an older skewing, more grounded, just has more verisimilitude to it, version of Power Rangers. And I know it's a stupid kids show, and I know it's not X-Men, but I want to make Power Rangers into X-Men, and that is my goal with this new series. So I'm coming back with that. X-Men, I can't make any promises. I will say that I will, after I've done this, started on this series, maybe at some point when, you know, a first season of this is done or something like that, maybe I'll go, right, I'm ready to get back to X-Men. I'm ready to finish up at least the episodes that I had the files done for, see if I can recover them, see if I can get some stuff re-recorded, all that kind of stuff, and we can see where we go from there. At least get the, I believe I was on the Alpha Flight episode, it was episode 10, with Wolverine. That actually was quite cool. So it'd be nice to finish that eventually, but I can't get to work on it right now because I want to do this. And I want to come back with something that I think you guys will enjoy, I think my audience will enjoy. And yeah, there was some of the same creative team are working on it with me. And let's see how it goes. I've sent out the first script at the minute. Auditions are currently open. Go to my Facebook group, Scyther Podcast's Facebook group, or the Facebook page. You can see the cast of characters, and of course you can message me personally if you want to be involved, if you want to be a character. Obviously, need some good audio equipment so I can edit it nice and smoothly together. I'm also in the process of rebuying all of my editing equipment that I no longer have, so that will be pricey, going to Adobe and all that again. But nevertheless, this is just me saying I am back, and I'm coming back with a reimagining of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Thanks, guys.